and have rectified any defects noted at the time. Clearly that's bullshit. I feel particularly stupid for believing anything anybody says.
Yeah, I know.
Well, first of all, can I say thanks so much to everybody for the comments on the last video. It's overwhelming how much kindness and support there is out there for our difficult situation. But we're on Monday morning. I posted the video yesterday. I'm so appreciative of your comments and your help and support. Many of you say that we should just reject the van outright because we'll probably never be happy with it. That's difficult, I think. That's a really difficult situation, but it might be something that we do. I'm probably gonna phone Trading Standards this week while it's in for repair. I want to see what the damage is, if any, to the garage. I found the previous HAB report as I was going through some documentation this morning, and it was all normal, between 8 and 12%, which is normal. Also, looking back through the warranty, the used warranty, and a statement they made, which, I mean, you know, I read this before signing it. So the statement they made, and just let me read that to you. It's a bit of a preamble. 12 months warranty valid, blah blah blah. We have thoroughly inspected your tourer stroke motorhome before handover and have rectified any defects noted at the time. Clearly that's bullshit. Isn't it? Because they had thoroughly inspected it and they did know about the damp and they didn't rectify it because they knew about it a week before. All of this informs our decision going forward, so we'll be careful about our decision. I think. On we go. It's Monday morning. We're going to get on our way. We're just packing up everything to take with us into the Airbnb.
I just wanted to add we paid a lot of money to have a tracker fitted on this.
Oh, well.
So what happens if we reject the van? We've lost a lot of money.
No, in the comments, somebody who's been through this type of series, well, a few people have been through this scenario. Trading Standards would call that betterment, right? Legal term, and you get that back as well.
Right,
they have to pay.
Good. Well, that's okay.
Because they're at fault.
Happier.
They lied to us.
Yes.
In writing now. They've lied in writing. So anyway, on we go. Yes. More news to come. Well, we checked in to the Airbnb. It's a lovely place, isn't it, Wendy?
Yes, it is very, very nice.
It's huge.
It's huge. We're not used to
what
huge.
We're used to. Look at it.
No,
it's
we're
huge.
not used to this.
And it's across 2 floors.
Oh, yes.
And we're on the first floor. Living area. TV, chair, sofa, and then we've got the kitchen area over that way. But right out the front here, we've got this lovely view. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? While we were waiting for the check-in time, check-in's not till 3, it's just after 3 now. Yeah, it's 3:30. So we checked in. While we went into Plymouth, had a little sit in a pub. We parked in what seemed to be a free bay. There were no signs, no road markings. The bays weren't really marked. I took some photographs, but we came back into the car, got one of those. I've tried to phone Trading Standards today, but I'll phone them tomorrow morning, I think, because I found out a bit more about our rights in terms of what we're due back if we reject the motorhome fully. The full refund consists of money, cash, that you paid for the motorhome. Apparently, they don't have to give us the rest of the money that was for the van, and it's a bit of a negotiation as to whether they give us the van back. So So that's why I need to speak to somebody who properly knows what the real information is. So, because you can misinterpret things, can't you? That's not a great start to the week, is it? So I sent the dealers another email yesterday evening, just noting a couple of other faults, hoping to get a sort of an email response back. Massive surprise, I got a telephone call a few minutes ago from them saying that they would very much like us to come to the workshop because they've been discussing it internally and have decided that they'd like us to be part of the repair process. Well, I see that as very good news. Wendy got a bit worried about that, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know quite what it means, you see.
No.
Never, I don't know it. We've not had this happen before.
But I've spent decades in corporate situations where there's conflict between customer supplier, so I sort of know where they want to go with that. So the good thing is that they want to include us. The downside would be that they will want to get authorization or suggestion from me about what repairs to do. I won't do that, because then if you say, yeah, fix that, and then something else goes wrong, they said, well, we had the van in and you specified exactly what repairs you wanted and we did those, so anything else is out of bounds. I've asked them for an extended warranty, another 12 months. Obviously, I'm not entitled to that. It's something to ask for, and it's a negotiation, because rejection is still on the table. I really don't want to, because the amount of upset, the amount of emotional distress is massive. How are you feeling right now? Lots of people
Yes.
Lots of people have already
Yeah,
expressed
I know.
concern over your mental health and mine.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
and they say they can see the stress on our face.
Yes.
So how are you feeling?
Well, I'm worried about what we'll see when we go there. I find it very upsetting.
Wendy might not go into the workshop. I'm emotionally affected by this.
Well, I am, because I thought they were nice people.
I feel
thought it won't happen to us again.
I feel particularly stupid for believing
Yeah.
anything anybody says.
Yeah, I know.
My advice to people generally is don't believe anything anybody tells you. And I did. I believed what they wrote down. We've thoroughly inspected it and corrected all defects. And I believe the guy that was doing the handover. It's all good. It all works. And the habitation report is fine. We'll send it to you.
It's such a lie, though.
Well,
They'd had it a week and they knew there was 30 to 40% damp. I think
yeah,
it's absolutely awful.
The damp report was done on the 23rd of October. We picked up on the 1st of November.
Yeah.
So that's a full week. Well, that they knew. That by the side. So we're going this afternoon after 2:00. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
We put it in to them at 9:01 yesterday morning. It was moved to their workshop at 9:46. I know that because we've got a tracker.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it tracks when the vehicle stops and moves. And I know exactly where it is. So they got onto it right away, and they've had a full day on it, I expect. I expect it's their priority job. But we'll see. We'll keep you up
Yes,
to date
we will. Yeah.
with all this. I mean, by the time you watch this, we'll have collected the van or rejected the van.
Yes.
We'll have done one of those things. Unless they say, we need it for another week. Stay tuned for the next bit. We'll give you a bit of an update after we've seen what Just William is like. And hopefully, he's just a little bit wet, not much. Well, we went over to the dealership workshop yesterday, didn't we?
Well, I couldn't get out the hire car. I felt so ill.
Wendy couldn't get out of the car. So
I really
been.
Yeah.
Well, we've both been badly affected.
Yes, I couldn't get
Emotionally
out of the car.
by
I couldn't
this.
face it. And isn't that awful thing to say? But I just was.
Wendy was physically ill
Yeah, I was.
from the thought of going. Anyway,
So I stayed.
we-
Yes. I
well, we
stayed.
drove into the car park.
And what was the first thing I saw?
The first thing we saw was our old van.
Oh, and I broke my heart.
Yeah, and I
saw
thought,
it.
oh
no.
God,
It's awful.
what
Well,
are
it
they?
was-
What are
so
they going to
sad.
do? They want us to come over because they, Anyway,
I wanted it back when I saw it. I wish we'd never done anything and gone through with it. I really did.
So then I saw our new van, Just William, parked just across the way with the awning out, the wide-out awning. Anyway, I thought, okay, well, I don't know if it's a good sign or bad sign. Anyway, so I went down to the service people and then, said hello, met the woman I'd been negotiating with on email, and very nice. And she said, well, let's get the workshop people out. So a couple of people from the workshop, and the guy that was actually doing the work, James, really nice guy, and he said, look, we've been around it and we've done a new damp report, we've done a whole hab check, we fixed up everything else. So all the list of faults, like the rear view camera not being dash mounted, it mounting on the screen, so we had to take it off every time we wanted to close the remiss blinds. The oven, they'd actually taken the oven right out and checked it all through, fixed it all up and put it all back. Changed the hot and cold water taps around on the sink, all the little bits and pieces. Tightened up the window thing so it seals properly, so it won't rain on us as we're going along. I did recommend that we should clean the window seals regularly with a silicone spray, so I'm going to do that.
Anyway, we'll do that, yes.
So then we went on. I'm doing this in reverse order, so we covered the damp first because that was the biggest issue. We got all the other bits sorted, and I'm happy with all that. So the van's in good nick. So the damp, they did a complete new damp report and couldn't get it above 15%. There isn't any damp. They even went underneath, outside the garage, and even that was only 15%. Because it's the base of the garage floor is marine ply. So why was my question was, why was it 30 to 40% on their original? The explanation they came up with, well, they used two types of damp meter. The pin, so you stick it into the wood or material and it makes a resistance and gives you a percentage. And they use a pinless, sort of like a radar thing. And the thing is that the garage floor, I think, is 18mm marine ply, and their pinless radar sensor needs thicker than 18mm to work accurately. Because if it just goes straight through, it will hit the concrete underneath or whatever. Now, I know this to be true because the new pinless damp meter I bought said you can't measure thin material, and that was one of the guidance things that they had on the instructions on the one I bought. So I knew that to be true. And he said maybe when they were testing it with the radar, the pinless, they might have hit some of the aluminium framing, and he showed me how that worked, and it was like when you run over the aluminium framing from parts of it, it measures 35% consistently, but everywhere else it's 8, 10, 15. So it looks like the original damp report was erroneous, which is good. So what I've said to them is, because of all this, and I said, look, I'll be open with you. I said, I don't trust you. So I'm going to have an independent habitation check done, and I'm going to let you have that. I'm going to let you see it. And if there's a problem, I'll expect you to fix it. And they said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. We don't think there'll be a problem. So then we went on to, well, why was there water inside, and lots of droplets just inside the door rubbers? And he said, well,
on the door and on the floor in there, wasn't there?
Well, that'll drip down, yeah.
A lot.
So
water in there.
He said there might have been a bit of capillary effect of water going in past the seals. So they've put extra sealant inside the door rubbers and around and so on, which I sort of felt, reasonably happy with, but we're going to see. On the basis that the van, well, let's put it this way: if they hadn't sent a monkey out to do the first damp report, if they'd sent somebody that knew what they were doing, the damp report would have been completely fine, and we wouldn't know any different. And they went round while I was with them. They went round. They didn't just do the damp report and then say, right, that's it. They took me round as well to do it again with both meters. So they went out of their way to really satisfy me that it was okay. They were super apologetic. Apart from the nonsense about salespeople lying and misleading and so on, the service department have been nothing but helpful. I mean, nothing has been too much trouble. I mean, the warranty they offer is return to base warranty. Originally, they offered us to do smaller warranty repairs with an NCC approved local up where our address is. So somebody was going to come out from Guildford to do that, to fix the oven, to, readjust the camera, blah, 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 whatever. But because there was such an issue that the service department weren't really aware of with the damp report, they said, well, we think you better bring it back to us. Talking openly with the service manager, the lady I've been dealing with, she said, out of earshot of anybody else, and between her and I, she said, well, we've had some serious conversations with the handover team and their processes are now changing. Nothing gets handed over without all of the paperwork and all of the handover hab check being available right there. So their processes have changed. They've done what they can, I think. I mean, it's really annoying to have to be in Plymouth for a week. I mean, the van, when we got called over, they said, well, you can take the van now if you want. And I said, oh, well, that's a problem. Because where we are in this B&B, we could never drive the van down here. It's down a little tiny single track road, down hills, nightmare. And then we couldn't park. So I said, well, I'm going to need to go and move out of where I am. They said, well, that's fine, whenever you're ready. And I said, well, we're booked in till Friday. And they said, yeah, no problem. So, are we rejecting it? No, we're not at the moment, because there's no damp repair to do, apart from the, sealing up the door seals, I think.
The thing I wanted to say to people is they said all the wards in there because it's moisture from where you're sleeping, but we've had lots of vans and we've never had that before. Have you ever experienced that?
They did, yeah.
Water all in there. I don't believe it, and I'm not happy about it still, I'll tell you the truth.
That is something...
Stuff gets ruined in there with that water.
That is something that we're going to have to find out over the next few weeks.
But every morning when we get up, I pull the mattress away from the back of the van and all the pillows so that the air can flow up through from the garage. Do you know what I mean? I'm always careful like that. I know that, and I open all the wardrobes. There's
an air gap at the head of the bed that goes into the garage. Now, what they said was that maybe they weren't particularly sure, but maybe it was condensation from us being there. Well, so I said, well, we're going to have to see about that.
Yeah, because that's
we can't say yes it is, no it's not, without saying, right, okay, well, let's take it back and test it. So we're accepting the van back on the basis that nothing untoward is wrong with it, and if it is, we know that our rights still stand and that we still have time to either reject, and to be honest, we don't want to. It's too much of a bloody nightmare, unless it's a real lemon, and I don't think it is, because it's done 12,000 miles, it's been driven, and the B trip computer is set from when it was new, and it's done a few hours of time driving, so it's not done much at all. So there's the thing. I think it's a lovely van. It's almost brand new inside. It feels brand new. Everything now works. And we've just got this little issue, and I wonder whether the extra sealant can fix that water ingress or condensation. I don't know. So that's what we're going to find out. But this week has been a nightmare, made better by all of you and your
Yes.
support.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
This, you know,
People are so kind, and I really appreciate it. Yes.
the response we've got from the last video has been incredible. The kindness that you guys show
Yes.
is overwhelming. It seriously is overwhelming. And we are super appreciative of that, and all the advice, and you know, and all the rest of it has been absolutely wonderful. It just sad that we've had to go through this. On the optimistic side, I always like to look on the optimistic side. I think we'll be good with Just William. I think we will. I'm really optimistic about that, and I think it'll be fine. Having an extra independent damp report focused around the garage, and that's really all I need. So, you know, I'm going to be checking it for the next couple of months myself. I've got 2 damp meters, right? And I'm going to become expert in damp checking. I've become an expert in Consumer Rights Act 2015. So I'm going to become an expert damp checker. But something that they did that was extra, they actually checked underneath the garage floor for damp and wrote all the readings down, and it was not damp. What more can you do? And as you go up the back wall of the garage, so you know, you got the front of the van there, you come to the garage here, and you got the wall that goes under the bed, and then you've got the garage space, got the bed base above that, and then there's the back wall. The readings are 5% or less at the top of that wall, and as you go down to the bottom, they stay pretty consistent until you get right, and there's a little sort of ledge that comes down the back wall out by about 3 or 4 inches, and then down again. Not quite sure what that is, but even that is only down at like 10%. So as you come down the wall, it gets to like 10%. Well, I really have gone on ad nauseum, but well, I'm a bit like that. I could talk about it forever, but I won't. And what we do is we'll just end this video here and say thank you so much for all of the kindness. Massive thanks. And we'll ask you to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone, very much.
Bye bye for now.
Yeah.